Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the University of Florida's O'Connell Center Pool, the site for the 2024 CWPA Men's National Collegiate Club Championship. The next game is Game 23, which features in the dark caps, the Georgia Institute of Technology Yellow Jackets, and in the white caps, the Florida State Seminoles. We need everyone to be in the best behavior. Please support the participants and officials in a positive manner. Anyone failing to do so may be removed from the pool. Also remember that alcohol and tobacco products within the competition site are prohibited. Hey fans, make sure to check out the concession table located at the entrance to get your fix on CWPA t-shirts, shorts, fleeces, and more. So that's it otherwise here on the CWPA Network. It's time for Game 23 between Georgia Tech and Florida State. Georgia Tech wins the sprint. Winner of this game will finish tied for 13th. The other team will finish tied for 15th. Both of these teams went 0 for 2 yesterday, so they are playing one last time. So now possession for the Seminoles, which finished runner-up in the Florida division. FSU right now dropped an 18-4 decision to UC San Diego Game 1 yesterday. The Seminoles lost to Colorado 16-9 in Game 12 as well. Georgia Tech and dark going right to left from Atlanta, Georgia. Yes, sir. Or no. No, sir. That did not cross. Too close for comfort there for the keeper, Matthew Salcedo. That looked really close. The officials for this game are Stephanie Villalobos and Jorge Villalobos. Will now dribble in. FSU at the left flat. That is heading back to Tallahassee on the attempt by, I believe, number 16, Skylar Klein. FSU was last in the National Collegiate Club Championship in 2021. That was in Huntsville, Alabama. That was also the last time Georgia Tech was in the National Collegiate Club Championship. Tech finished tied for 15th. I believe lost 6-1 in the tie in the 13-15 place game against host Alabama. Possession going back to the Seminoles. Georgia Tech, who had some rough losses in this tournament, lost to Cal Poly 12-4, and then 15-13 to Michigan. Seminoles strike first. It's FSU in white 1. Georgia Tech in dark 0 with 5:22 to go in the first quarter. Head coach for Georgia Tech is Jeff Drews, assisted by Kelsey Drews. Set up inside. And that is stuffed by Matthew Salcedo. Florida State in white going right to left. Florida State lost a couple of times here in Gainesville this season to the Florida Gators. I believe the Seminoles are happy not to face the host Gators in this tournament. Florida defeated WashU St. Louis 15-8 to play Virginia tomorrow for 5th. It'll be going the other way. It'll be Florida State ball. FSU scored in the last minute. Jeff Drews giving instruction to his bench on what happens on this play. Picked from behind by number 18 in North. Athanasios Taprancis. And now here is Pedro Dalbo. Dalbo ahead. Or they foul. Going from the right flat, skipped right back to Atlanta. We'll be back to the Yellow Jackets. Georgia Tech going left to right. Opportunity to knock it here to the right flat. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Off the iron. Brought back to reality. That was gobbled up by number 5 for FSU, Ethan Dunnigan. Dunnigan out to Samuel Perez for a foul at the point. Alfred thought it was a turnover. Into Jernigan. Out to the left flat for Skylar Klein. Klein ahead. Broken up by the Yellow Jackets. Atanasios Taprancis. Here's with Albo looking for his ideal line of sight. Our 11th of 12 games today. Been a long day, lots of goals. Glad you're joining us here in the CWPA Network. Still got 7 games after this one for the tournament. Couple of stops, don't bother the Seminoles. It was a 6-on-5 for Georgia Tech, but to no avail. Georgia Tech would like to score here in this quarter. And we got a 5-meter. Georgia Tech penalty on number 14 in North Pradesh. Yadlapali. Yadlapali's first. Taking a 5-meter. This will be Skylar Klein. Florida State 5 meters. Successful. Penalty shot good by number 16 in white, Skylar Klein. Making a score, Seminoles in white 2. Yellow Jackets in dark 0. Florida State and Georgia Tech is an Atlantic Coast Conference rivalry in varsity sports. So of course tensions are high. There's going to be an exclusion on the Seminoles. Exclusion foul. Exclusion foul on Florida State on number 7 in white. Michael Bernstein, his second. One more will knock him out of the game. In front, Tech on the board. Georgia Tech goal scored by number 14 in dark, Vadesh Yadlapali. His first. 2-0 free to go in the first quarter. FSU 2, Georgia Tech 1. Unlike the 2021 13-15 place game between Alabama and Georgia Tech, in which Alabama won 6-1, Tech gets a goal in the first quarter. Yellow Jackets didn't get one till the fourth quarter in that contest in Huntsville, Alabama. 6 seconds on the possession clock, and that's going the other way. Left to right we go for the Jackets. Georgia Tech looking to knock things out after being in a 2-goal hole. Ball is loose. Salcido left the outlet. We'll back it up. We'll brush it aside. Seminoles feet ahead. There's Brady Howard, number 9. Ordinary foul will be brought up, and you can reset. 8 seconds on the possession clock. 1:10 to go. Broken up by the Jackets, and Jorge Villalobos calls an exclusion, and it'll be timeout by Jeff Drews. Timeout, Georgia Tech. 57.7 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Florida State in white 2, Georgia Tech in dark 1. Georgia Tech will have possession out of the full timeout. The Yellow Jackets have 2 full and 1 30-second timeout remaining. Power play for Georgia Tech. Yellow Jackets in need of getting on the board again. Yalopali got the Jackets there. That's exactly what it needed. It's a goal to tie things up. Georgia Tech power play goal scored by number 10 in Dork, Jamison Chatfield. First of the game. 47 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Georgia Tech in Dark 2, Florida State in White 2. There was an important play there. And there was a timeout well used by Jeff Drews. There'll be an exclusion now on the Jackets, number 7. Georgia Tech exclusion on number 7 in Dark. Zach DeHoff is first. Power play Seminoles. Deflected out of play, 2 meter from the 5 position for FSU. FSU scored the first 2 of the contest. 15 seconds left in the first quarter. Shot clock's now unplugged. We're even strength. It will remain with the Seminoles. It's another 6 on 5. 6 on 5, Seminoles. Last effort, stopped by Pedro Dalbo. After 1 quarter, Florida State in the Whitecaps 2. Georgia Tech in the Dark Caps 2. After a 2-0 deficit, the Yellow Jackets able to get 2 unanswered. So we'll have more to come in game 23 on the CWPA network.
Custom ball options. You'll see in my right hand here is a laser etched ball, and you can see that we have 5meter.com is the company that had these balls made. The 2 differences really with a custom printed ball is this ball is painted on, and the 5-meter ball is laser etched into the ball. This is exactly how it looks. And then we have our custom balls for schools, clubs, high schools, whatever you name it. Lots of people do it. And this is actually screened on the ball. But you have to do 60 balls on this side, 12 balls on the laser etch.
Hi, I'm Will Flygo with Cap 7, and we'll be on Facebook Live. Check us out, ask us any questions you have, or just watch at home.
The CWPA YouTube channel is your #1 video source for everything water polo. Check out Tip of the Week series, inside water movements, highlights, and more. Visit youtube.com and search CWPA Water Polo. Second quarter about to be underway momentarily. Georgia Tech in the Dark Caps 2, Florida State in the White Caps 2. Following this game will be game 24 between the U.S. Military Academy Cadets and the Iowa State Cyclones. We hope you can stick around for more action to come. So FSU got the first 2 goals in the opening period before Vadesh Yadlapali and Jamison Chatfield erased the 2-0 deficit to even things up, which included a power play knock. Georgia Tech in dark will be swimming left to right. Florida State in white, right to left. Georgia Tech wins the second quarter sprint. Jeff Drews, the head coach, will go around 5 meters to give instruction to his team. You cannot go past 5 meters. .6:45 remaining in the second. We have a push off. double exclusion. Double exclusion. We're 5-on-5. Number 4 in dark for Georgia Tech, Ahmed Farid has no clue what he did. Ordinary at 5 meters, we'll back it up. Set up inside, 5 seconds. Tech in the lead. It's Yadlapali for the second time. Georgia Tech goal scored by number 14 in dark, Badesh Yadlapali, his second. 6.5 minutes to play in the second quarter. Georgia Tech in dark 3, Florida State in white 2. After a slow start, the Yellow Jackets are on to a 3-0 run. This is the last game of the tournament for both teams. Both teams want to put their best shots out there. It's Saturday, November 9th, 2024. Speaking of Georgia Tech, the Yellow Jackets football team defeated top 10 football team Miami. Florida State goal scored by number 7 in white, Michael Bernstein. 6:05 to go in the second. Florida State in white 3, Georgia Tech in dark 3. Georgia Tech a chance to regain the lead here. Lost the hold. That will be a 6-on-5. Florida State exclusion number 2 in white, Bennett Roberts. Power play, Georgia Tech. Jackets here make the stop. It's Matthew Salcedo. And he is going to keep pace here. Georgia Tech, the Southeast Division champ, defeated Alabama in the title game after a 3-goal loss to the Crimson Tide in a regular season affair. It was 7-4 in the regular season. Georgia Tech won the Southeast title in its home pool. Georgia Tech is on a 6-on-5 with 5:20 to go in the second. Tempers all over the place. Or his emotions all over the place. That might be free on number 7. It will go the other way. Assistant coach Kelsey Drews unsure if Florida State's already down a player due to exclusion accumulation. Stuff on the track by Matthew Salcedo. Boy, the people here a bit animated right now. Whistles galore. The Georgia Tech exclusion was a number 6 in dark, Joshua Ingleson. Do not count the goal for Florida State. It's a free game. 4:25 remaining in the second quarter. Ordinary foul. There have been lots of animated emotions in the water. Lots of emotion in the pool this tournament. This is the 23rd game in. Everyone's living it out in the waters. Going left to right. Turned over. Hold on. Looks like we got another double. Do we have a double exclusion? Well, it appears Georgia Tech will have possession. Andrew Jernigan, number 21, might saying, "What's going on? What did I do?" Well, Stephanie Villalobos is explaining to the players right now. Looks like it's going to be a 5-meter penalty shot for Georgia Tech. 5-meter penalty shot for Georgia Tech. It will be taken by number 7 in dark, Zachary DeHuff. DeHuff buries the hat trick. Georgia Tech penalty goal scored by number 7 in dark, Zach DeHuff. Also, Georgia Tech retains possession with 4:10 remaining in the second quarter. Just like technical fouls in basketball, that was in essence a technical in water polo. Florida State out of sorts right now. 2 in the first, 2 so far in the second. For the Jackets, pummeled by the keeper, Matthew Salcedo. We'll break it up to the right flat position with Max Cornegay, number 19. Now going the other way, a player behind him. Got to be careful. Ball under, or not ball under. Oh wait, do we have an exclusion actually? I thought it was a ball under. Five-meter penalty shot for FSU. That is on number 6 and dark, Joshua Ingleson. Skylar Klein will take the 5-meter penalty shot for the Seminoles. He has that denied by the ref. Crossbar. We've got it all in this game so far. So a 5-meter penalty shot and then possession retained for Georgia Tech. It is 5-3 now, Tech. So it's a 2-goal lead for the Yellow Jackets. Set up ahead, lost the hold. Salcedo able to gobble up the loose change, he'll dangle ahead. Jeff Drews being animated on the sideline, he's smiling, knowing that it should have been another goal. The Georgia Tech bench in a joking mood right now. Don't want to be joking as we get to the latter part of the game. Pedro Dalbo with the stop. Georgia Tech and Florida State are rivals in the ACC varsity. They are not rivals in CWPA men's club circuit. Georgia Tech is of the Southeast Division. Florida State of the Florida Division. And now going right to left, FSU in the white caps. It's number 4, Alexander Hamburg. Ordinary foul. We reset by Bogdan Burke. Jernigan, Andrew Jernigan, 1-on-2, broke aside, pushed aside. 2-meter from the 5 position for Florida State. Georgia Tech pressing right now. Yellow Jackets an 8-time Southeast Division champ, including 2 in the last 4 years. Out of bounds, goal flow here for Pedro Dalbo, approaching 2 minutes remaining in the first half. That's another goal for the Jackets. The score, 1:58 remaining in the second quarter. Georgia Tech in dark 6. Florida State in the white 3. So it's a 4-1 scoring run for Georgia Tech after being initially down 2-0 in the game. Opportunity knocking here perhaps for the Seminoles, down 3. Haven't had any games go past 28 minutes today. We've had just one this tournament. Game 8 was 15-14 sudden victory win by Virginia. We got a 5-meter. And that's Zach DeHoff. Georgia Tech penalty on number 7 in dark, Zach DeHoff. There will be a 5-meter penalty shot for number 12 in white for Florida State, Thomas Young. Young will take it, and he'll capitalize. Florida State 5-meter penalty shot successful for number 12 in white, Thomas Young. 1:33 remaining in the second quarter. Georgia Tech 6, Florida State 4. Out in front, skip, but stopped by Matt Salcedo. We'll go back to enemy grounds. Florida State with a chance to get within 1. Looks like Spencer Yawn. And there we go. Georgia Tech scores to make it now Yellow Jackets 7, Florida State 4. With 1:06 to go in the second. A little bit of a phonetic place to see who scored that. That may have been Zach DeHoff, number 7. Zach DeHoff staying on the sideline. The ball does not have any grip. So going right to left now, FSU down 3. Lost the handle for Brandon Massey. Push aside now. Here's Spencer Yawn. Back to Pedro Dalbo. Spencer Yawn. Georgia Tech on a 5-2 run. Reset. Got a kick out inside 5 meters. I believe that's Brandon Massey. Florida State exclusion on number 24 in white, Brandon Massey. Power play, Georgia Tech. Jackets out in front now, leading by 3, looking for more. Inside, and that is with authority. Georgia Tech goal, scored by number 10 in dark, Jamison Chatfield. He's got a couple. 5 seconds left in the first half, 8-4 Georgia Tech. Shot clock unplugged. We'll see if the Seminoles can get a heave. Broken up by Pedro Dalbo, and that will conclude the first half of game 23. After 2 quarters in game 23, the score is the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. In the dark caps 8, the Florida State Seminoles in the white caps 4. After Florida State initially went up 2-0, it's an 8-2 scoring run for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Scott S. DeWice here. We'll have more to come from O'Connell Center Pool.
Hi, I'm Janai Kerr, your guru goalie, here to give you the tip of the week with CWPA.
This is your Cap 7 tip of the week.
The offensive team's objective is to get a score goal. And part of that strategy is to have a counterattack. A lot of people call it one on nobody, but in fact, it's against you as the other goalkeeper. So a one on goalie isn't necessarily an automatic goal. It's not your obligation to stop it, but you can do your best to limit their scoring opportunities and to slow down the opponent, giving your teammates time to catch him or her. What I recommend is your base starting position to be out as far as possible will you still feel comfortable to recover from a lob or a full court shot from the other goalkeeper? So what I mean by that is rather than being on the goal line or even 2 meters, maybe sneaking out to about 5 meters and changing your hip position to be up. So with my hips up, I start to sneak out to about 5 meters. My hands are still sculling, so I'm in position to be able to either do a breaststroke kick back to come back to the goal line, or to strike out for a steal. When I'm coming off that steal, you have to make the read as the ball is in the air, not when the ball hits the water, but as the ball's in the air, you're making the read if you're going to come out and commit for that steal, or if you're going to recover back to the goal line. Okay? Ideally, you'll come out for the steal and change that counterattack to your own team's counterattacking the other way, and you'll make a little bit more conservative pass to make sure your team controls the ball and scores. Okay? If the goalie makes a precise, safe pass, it is your responsibility to come back so you don't get lobbed on right away and force them to move across the cage. A lot of athletes either don't have the discipline or the stamina to remember to do perfect technique, and they'll actually come right towards you. I recommend angling yourself so you almost bringing them into a trap towards one side, decreasing their shooting angle, and as they come in to pick up the ball, you kind of close them in. Again, it's not your obligation to block a one-on goalie, but it is your obligation to make it as difficult as possible for them to score. Communication is key. If it happens to be a 2-on-1 where you have a defender and yourself as the last line of defense, okay, by half court, you need to communicate to your teammate where you want them to go, which opponent you want them to pick up. And again, through time and experience, you'll feel more and more comfortable making those reads and communicating clearly with your teammates. I want you to be out of the cage, not only at 2 meters, but possibly even at 3, 4, 5 meters. And as the ball's in the air, you're preparing to make that read and strike out. Even though I only took one stroke, I'm stealing the ball from about 7 meters out because I was in position ahead of time. And that's our goalie tip of the week.
We're entering the second half of play between the Florida State Seminoles and the Whitecaps and the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. We're trying to get clarification for the correct score. It's unclear if it's 7-5 or 8-4. It is believed to be 8-4. But according to the score table, it's perhaps 7-5. We're going to go line by line, and we aren't going to continue until we can confirm the score. So today we've had 10 games before this one today. We had lots of fun action. Game 13 saw UC San Diego eke out a 12-8 win over Virginia, game in which the Tritons were up at one point by only one in the fourth quarter. Cal Poly defeated Texas A&M in game 14, 16-14. The Aggies were up by 3, but could not hold on as the Mustangs able to surge ahead. Game 15, Boston University shocked host Florida 14-13. Game 16, Cal Maritime took care of Washington University in St. Louis 18-9. Colorado defeated Michigan in game 17, 15-6. Game 18, Penn State defeated Oregon 16-11. Scoreboard has 8-5. Georgia Tech wins the possession. Well, the scoreboard has 8-5. So, Georgia Tech does have 8. So now we'll go the other way. We're sorry for any confusion. Ordinary foul. Opportunity for Alexander Hamburg. Broken up by Georgia Tech. Now in the fast break, going right to left. Open here for Jamison Chatfield, who had a pair in the first tap. Got an exclusion on Hamburg. FSU exclusion on number 4 in white, Alexander Hamburg. Emotions are all over the place. 8-5 is the score. Skip shot and the boom. Georgia Tech goal scored by number 10 in dark Jamison Chatfield. He has a few. 5:59 remaining in the third quarter. Georgia Tech in dark 9. Florida State in white 5. Jorge Villalobos saying only one person can stand up as coach. So now backing up to the point, FSU down 9-5 and 5:50 remaining in the third quarter here in game 23. Broken up here, the Yellow Jackets trying to get to number 10 already. Here's Atanasios Taprantzis out in front. Salcedo gives him too much real estate and makes him pay. Georgia Tech goals scored by number 18 in Newark, Atanasios Taprantzis. 5:37 remaining in the third quarter. Georgia Tech in dark 10, Florida State in white 5. Keep in mind the Seminoles scored the first 2 goals of the game. Florida State qualified for this tournament by being the runner-up of the host division, Florida Division. The University of Florida hosting this tournament. Usually the host will be the 16th seed unless it is a division champ. Then the division runner-up will be the 16th position. Unless the same division is the 1 seed, then the teams will be reseeded. Easy pickings for Matthew Salcedo. Oh, he had to die. He had to jump for it. Florida State of Tallahassee, Florida. We're in the same state as the campus. Tallahassee's the capital of Florida. Backing up now, 10 seconds left on the possession timer. Now to the right flat position. Broken up and secured now by the Yellow Jackets. And it'll be on a man up. 6-on-5 now for the Yellow Jackets. Georgia Tech power play goal scored by number 2 in dark, Alpha Reed. 4:32 remaining in the third quarter. Georgia Tech in dark 11, Florida State in white 5. Florida State bench right now in a very irritated mood. This is the last game of the year for the Florida State Seminoles. Some of them are seniors and won't be able to participate after the season. So they definitely want to go out on a winning note. They're trying to also see Michael Bernstein excluded out of the game, number 7 in white, because he is unsure. We're going to find out momentarily. Michael Bernstein does have free exclusion, so he cannot return. So Florida State will be down an option. Now opportunity knocking here for Zach DeHoff. Georgia Tech power play goal scored by number 2 in dark, Al-Fareed. His second goal of the third. 3:35 remaining in the third period of play. Georgia Tech in dark 12. Florida State in white 5. Florida State wanted a timeout, but didn't call it. Now going left to right on your screens. And Jernigan? Actually, no. Alexander Pratt. Be a 6-on-5 opportunity, but short-lived. This game is out of sorts. Well, Georgia Tech continuing to size up the lead though. Skip, but off the post. Out of bounds, will be a 2-meter for the Yellow Jackets. Got 3 minutes remaining in the third. Still got the U.S. Military Academy and Iowa State to come after this game for game 24. Long day, everyone. Skipped and stopped by Matt Salcedo. Boy, balls are flying everywhere here in the O'Connell Center as well on the sidelines. Georgia Tech defending, FSU down 7. Takes it and has it denied at the hole. 12-5, Georgia Tech. There's a kick out, I believe on number 5. Georgia Tech power play goal scored by number 7 and dark Zach DeHoff. 2:22 remaining in the third quarter. Georgia Tech and dark 13, Florida State in white 5. You're watching game 23 of the 2024 CWPA Men's National Collegiate Club Championship in the University of Florida's O'Connell Center pool. Last time University of Florida hosted Men's Nationals, I believe it was 2009 when Florida International finished runner-up. Setting up inside. And that is heading back to campus. Out of bounds by FSU. Georgia Tech now to the point. Lost the handle. And it's Zach DeHoff's time. He scores yet again. Georgia Tech goal scored by number 7 in the dark cap, Zach DeHoff. He's got at least a pair this third quarter. And with 1:49 remaining in the third, Georgia Tech 14, Florida State 5. And the wheels are coming completely apart for FSU, but there's still lots of water polo left in the game. You never know how a game could turn out at the end. It's exclusion time on Georgia Tech. Player advantage now for the Seminoles. over these teams. Went 0 for 2 yesterday, so final game of the season here. Both trying to put a heart on their caps. Even strength. The play waved off. Cross the line there. Minute 10 remaining in the third, 14-5. Emotions not in a good place right now for the FSU Seminoles. Georgia Tech, though, flying high, up by 9, trailed by as many as 2 in the opening period. Florida State couldn't ride that high. And it's number 14. Georgia Tech goal scored by number 14 in dark, Videsh Yadlapali. 15-5, Yellow Jackets. Sorry if we have misidentified any scorers. We do know that Georgia Tech is leading. Largest lead of the game for either team at 10, 45 seconds remaining in the third. And then we'll go to a respite for a couple minutes, and Georgia Tech will respond with the turnover. Jackets with an inside water opportunity. We'll back it up. Trying to find room. Ordinary foul. Up top. Deflected. Matthew Salcedo will do the honors here with 15 seconds to go in the third. 10 seconds left in the third. Scored 15-5. Last effort, stopped at the hole. Been out of play, and that's how the third ends. So that's at least 7 goals scored by the Yellow Jackets in the third, and Georgia Tech's in a good place. After 3 quarters, Georgia Tech and the Dark Caps 15, Florida State 5 in game 23. Georgia Tech and the Dark Caps 15, Florida State and the White Caps 5 in game 23. Following this game will be game 24 between the U.S. Military Academy Cadets and the Iowa State Cyclones. Please stick around for that. Then tomorrow we have 6 games on tap, including the first place game between UC San Diego and California Maritime Academy. You're watching the 2024 Collegiate Water Polo Association Men's National Collegiate Club Championship in the University of Florida in Gainesville. It's a 10-goal lead for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Trailed 2-0 in the initial frame, and then got an onslaught of tallies. FSU in white swimming left to right, Georgia Tech in dark right to left. Last quarter potentially for both teams this season. This is a rivalry in the Atlantic Coast Conference. They are not rivals in CWPA. Georgia Tech of the Southeast Division, Florida State of the Florida Division. But tensions do flow between these squads. Peppers flare rather. Florida State wins the fourth quarter sprint. Job well done there for Alexander Hamburg. Ordinary, no, that is exclusion. Georgia Tech exclusion on number 2 in dark, Alpha Reed, power play Seminoles. FSU looking for its first goal since the second quarter. Broken up at the hole by Georgia Tech. Definitely a frustrating second half for the Florida Division runners-up, Seminoles. Both of these teams last appeared in the National Collegiate Club Championship in Huntsville, Alabama in 2021. Florida State exclusion on number 12 in white, Thomas Young, power play Jackets. Thomas Young can return. We're even strength. With 6 minutes remaining in regulation. These teams did not play any games today leading up to this one. The last games have been yesterday evening. They were losses. Georgia Tech lost to Michigan 15-13. Florida State lost to Colorado 16-9. Skipped, pounced out of play by Salcedo. Off for the Florida State keeper, 2 meter from the one position for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Georgia Tech went winless at the 2021 National Collegiate Club Championship, on the verge of going home victorious in the last game. Open net there for Zach DeHoff. Georgia Tech goal scored by number 7 in dark, Zachary DeHoff. 5:27 remaining in regulation. Georgia Tech in dark 16, Florida State in white 5. Zach DeHoff leading the power surge for the Jackets. He's likely the player of the game right now. He's been the Jackets' energy booster. A tug there from behind by Florida State will get the ball back to GT. Georgia Tech has it. And it's Jamison Chatfield getting another. Georgia Tech goal scored by number 10 in dark, Jamison Chatfield. He has close to a handful. 5:04 remaining in regulation. Georgia Tech in the dark cap 17, Florida State in the white 5. Might have been 8-5 at halftime. It's a 9-0 Georgia Tech run if that's the case. Doing egg beater motion now from the point, going left to right. Flyers heading back to Tallahassee. Skylar Klein trying his luck, but to no avail for keeper Pedro Dalbo. Going the other way. Caleb Da Silva. Da Silva finds the back. Florida State on the board for the first time in the second half. Florida State goal scored by number 22 in white, Caleb Da Silva. His first of the second half. 4:26 remaining in regulation. Georgia Tech 17, Florida State 6. And ladies and gentlemen, make sure you don't go away. We still have one more game to come after this one between Army and Iowa State. Army, the New York Division champ. Iowa State, Missouri Valley champion. From long range, that is off the left post. 4 minutes remaining regulation. Matthew Salcedo with the outlet now. A day of tremendous water polo. Not yet done. We still got 4 quarters to go after this game. Boy, these 13-15 place matchups can be grueling because you don't want to go home without a win. Ball under. Ball under on Georgia Tech. Florida State takes over. Florida State has tough sledding here. Down 17-6. Seminoles, though, started the tournament with an 18-4 loss to UC San Diego, then a 16-9 loss to Colorado, and Georgia Tech is following it here. Georgia Tech goals scored by number 12 in the dark caps, Carson McNeil. Score is now Tech 18, Florida State 6. 3:05 remaining in regulation, and then we're going to go straight to game 24 between Army and Iowa State. Approaching 10 p.m. on the East Coast. Here in warm Florida. I was going to say warm and sunny, but we've had some rain lately. Exclusion on the Yellow Jackets. Will be power play. Power play for Florida State. Check down a player for 10 more seconds. Opportunity knocking here for the Seminoles. That was number 12, Thomas Young. 5 seconds left on the advantage. Young feels it and gets another one. Florida State power play goal scored by number 12 in white, Thomas Young. That's at least his second of the game. .234 remaining in regulation. Georgia Tech 18, FSU 7. Georgia Tech needs to get ready. It's been a very long day. Over 13 hours of water polo now. Got to make sure everyone is up to stuff and on the right page. Just waiting for the officials to play on. United States Military Academy awaits Iowa State in game 24 following the conclusion of this one. We're going to have a substitution. Skylar Klein's going to go back in for Leighton Jobin. Well, it looks like there had been a miscommunication in the waters, and we're going to get that situated. Hopefully not far from now. Again, as we wait for this game to resume, we have Army versus Iowa State after this one. Army dropped opening round matchups to Cal Maritime 16-9 and Pennsylvania State 18-14. Iowa State lost game 2 to Florida yesterday, 27-5. and then fell victim to Oregon, 11-5. Jorge Villalobos and Stephanie Villalobos just waiting for conditions to permit in order to return. Still trying to figure things out, and we do now. Georgia Tech possession. That took a couple of minutes to situate. Ordinary foul. Ordinary. Opportunity here for Carson McNeil. It will remain with Georgia Tech. Number 19, Max Cornegay. Fresh birdie. Carson McNeil buries the hatchet yet again. Georgia Tech goal scored by number 12 indoor Carson McNeil. 2:07 remaining in the fourth quarter. Georgia Tech 19, Florida State 7. 2 minutes remaining in regulation, and then we're off to game 24. Georgia Tech looking to put on the finishing touches. Going right to left. Shot clock has been reset. Now to the left flat position. Batting up to the point. Max Cornegay. Cornegay getting guarded by Skylar Klein. Out in front, pushed aside by Salcedo. Now a retreat. Andrew Jernigan. Ball is loose. Florida State still has possession, 10 seconds left. And able to continue the play. Florida State goal scored by number 9 in white, Brady Howard. 19-8, Georgia Tech as we approach 1 minute remaining in the game. MSU, not done yet. Brady Howard, a freshman from Mechanicsburg, PA. We'll settle down. 17 the shot clock, 46 seconds to go in the game. 19-8, Georgia Tech. There's been only one game this tournament in which a team had 20 goals, and that was game 2. Florida 27, Iowa State 5. Georgia Tech gets another. It'll only be the second time this tournament a team gets 20. Carson McNeil, that's 20 for the Jackets, and another this quarter for McNeil. Georgia Tech goal scored by number 12 in dark, Carson McNeil. He's got a few this quarter. 19 seconds left, 20-8, Georgia Tech. Perhaps the last possession of the game for both teams. Andrew Jernigan dribbling. And a bury from 6 meters. Florida State goal scored by number 21 in white, Andrew Jernigan. 7.5 seconds remaining, 29 Tech. Georgia Tech with maybe one last effort. And that will do it, ladies and gentlemen. Final score in game 23. Georgia Tech in the dark caps 20. Florida State in the white 9. Player of the game is Zachary DeHuff, scoring a handful of goals and leading the power surge for Georgia Tech. Congratulations to Georgia Tech on finishing tied for 13th. Florida State finishes tied for 15th. Coming up next is game 24 between the United States Military Academy and Iowa State University.